I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. There is nothing impossible to him who will try. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. A tomb now suffices him for whom the world was not enough. Through every generation of the human race, there has been a constant war, a war with fear. Those who have the courage to conquer it are made free, and those who are conquered by it are made to suffer until they have the courage to defeat it, or death takes them. When we give someone our time, we actually give a portion of our life that we will never take back. Sex and sleep alone make me conscious that I am mortal, but truly, if I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes. Upon the conduct of each depends the fate of all. Each moment free from fear makes a man immortal. Now that the wars are coming to an end, I wish you to prosper in peace. May all mortals from now on live like one people in concord and for mutual advancement. Consider the world as your country, with laws common to all, and where the best will govern irrespective of tribe. I do not distinguish among men as the narrow-minded do, both among Greeks and barbarians. I am not interested in the descendants of the citizens or their racial origins. I classify them using one criterion, their virtue. For me, every virtuous foreigner is a Greek, and every evil Greek worse than a barbarian. If differences ever develop between you, never have recourse to arms, but solve them peacefully. If necessary, I should be your arbitrator. Glory crowns the deeds of those who expose themselves to toils and dangers. There are no more worlds to conquer. My treasure lies in my friends. Our enemies are Medes and Persians, men who for centuries have lived soft and luxurious lives. We of Macedon, for generations past, have been trained in the hard school of danger and war. Above all, we are free men, and they are slaves. There are Greek troops, to be sure, in Persian service, but how different is their cause from ours? They will be fighting for pay, and not much of at that. We, on the contrary, shall fight for Greece, and our hearts will be in it. As for our foreign troops, Thracians, Paeonians, Illyrians, Agrianes, they are the best and stoutest soldiers in Europe, and they will find as their opponents the slackest and softest of the tribes of Asia. And what, finally, of the two men in supreme command? You have Alexander, they Darius. Now you fear punishment and beg for your lives, so I will let you free, if not for any other reason, so that you can see the difference between a Greek king and a barbarian tyrant. Do not expect to suffer any harm from me. A king does not kill messengers. If it were not my purpose to combine barbarian things with things Hellenic, to traverse and civilize every continent, to search out the uttermost parts of land and sea, to push the bounds of Macedonia to the farthest ocean, and to disseminate and shower the blessings of the Hellenic justice and peace over every nation, I should not be content to sit quietly in the luxury of idle power, but I should emulate the frugality of Diogenes. But as things are, forgive me, Diogenes, that I imitate Heracles and emulate Perseus and follow in the footsteps of Dionysos, the divine author and progenitor of my family, and desire that victorious Hellenes should dance again in India and revive the memory of the Bacchic revels among the savage mountain tribes beyond the Caucasus. Holy shadows of the dead, I am not to blame for your cruel and bitter fate, but the accursed rivalry which brought sister nations and brother people to fight one another. I do not feel happy for this victory of mine. On the contrary, I would be glad, brothers, if I had all of you standing here next to me, since we are united by the same language, the same blood, and the same visions. As for a limit to one's labors, I, for one, do not recognize any for a high-minded man, except that the labors themselves should lead to noble accomplishments. There are so many worlds, and I have not yet conquered even one. When my casket is being carried to the grave, leave my hands hanging outside. For empty-handed I came into this world, and empty-handed I shall go. My whole life has been a hollow waste, a futile exercise, for no one at death can take anything with them. Youths of the Peleians, and of the Macedonians, and of the Hellenic Amphictyoni, and of the Lacedaemonians, and of the Corinthians, and of all the Hellenic peoples, join your fellow soldiers and entrust yourselves to me, so that we can move against the barbarians and liberate ourselves from the Persian bondage. For as Greeks, we should not be slaves to barbarians. For my part, I think that to a man of spirit, there is no other aim and end of his labors except the labors themselves. Toil and risk are the price of glory, but it is a lovely thing to live with courage and die leaving an everlasting fame. Whatever possession we gain by our sword cannot be sure or lasting, but the love gained by kindness and moderation is certain and durable. Heaven cannot brook two sons, nor earth two masters. I do not pilfer victory. I had rather excel others in the knowledge of what is excellent than in the extent of my power and dominion. How should a man be capable of grooming his own horse, or of furbishing his own spear and helmet, if he allows himself to become unaccustomed to tending even his own person, which is his most treasured belonging? How great are the dangers I face to win a good name in Athens! You shall, I question not, find a way to the top if you diligently seek for it. For nature hath placed nothing so high that it is out of the reach of industry and valor. How happy had it been for me had I been slain in the battle! It had been far more noble to have died the victim of the enemy than fall a sacrifice to the rage of my friends. My father will anticipate everything. He will leave you and me no chance to do a great and brilliant deed. For my own part, I would rather excel in knowledge of the highest secrets of philosophy than in arms. Soldiers, I had lately liked to have been taken from you by the attempt of a few desperate men, but by the grace and providence of the gods, I am still preserved. So far as I am concerned, I could not be accused of having set eyes, or having wished to set eyes upon Darius' wife. On the contrary, I have refused even to listen to those who spoke to me of her beauty. Shall I, that have destroyed my preservers, return home? I am dying from the treatment of too many physicians. Who does not desire such a victory by which we shall join places in our kingdom, so far divided by nature, and for which we shall set up trophies in another conquered world? His father is governor of Media, and though he has the greatest command given him of all the rest of my generals, he still covetously desires more, and my being without issue spurs him on to this wicked design. But Philotas takes wrong measures. I wish that the Indians believed me a god, for upon the report of an enemy's valor oftentimes depends the success of a battle, and false reports have many times done as great things as true courage and resolution. Oh, most miserable wretch that I am! Why have I not learned how to swim? If we turn our backs on the Scythians who have provoked us, how shamefully shall we march against the revolted Bactrians? But if we pass Tanis and make the Scythians feel, by dear experience, that we are invincible, not in Asia only, it is not to be doubted but that Europe itself, as well as Asia, will come within the bounds of our conquests.